had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now, a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night show, hour of Into the Night with me, your host Sean Kelly. Tonight I have an awesome show tonight. It's just going to be good. Of course, I got my brother on as a guest tonight, and we were talking about this a while back, and because he was stationed on board the USS Constitution. It was his first duty station in the Navy. But hey, Sally, Heidi, Sally, good to see you. Kurt, always a pleasure seeing you. Yeah, Heidi, also say hello to Pause. All right, Pause. Yeah, tell Pause I said hello. All right. But I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you an hour on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights here on UPRN Talk Radio platform. If you can, buddy, please share this show out tonight. It's going to be a very good one. It's going to be very in. Hey, Mish, good to see you, hon. It's going to be a very good show. Also, remember that it is Tuesday night, so right after my show, C.L. Thomas is going to have her. She's my bud, and her podcast is called The Gateway Podcast. And tonight, she is going to have her guest is Tim Shaw, Sex, Murder, and Witchcraft in Nickel City. Sounds pretty interesting. So if you can, please, just after my show is over with, go over and give her some love and go check out her show. Well, like I said, tonight I got my brother on. But here's a little history of the Constitution. The USS Constitution was one of the 6 original frigates authorized by the U.S. Congress in 1794. The War of 1812, its enduring fame comes from its service in the War of 1812 when cannonballs were seen bouncing off its hull, earning it the nickname Old Ironsides. In the modern status, it is the oldest commissioned warship afloat in the world and the oldest vessel that can still sail under its own power. It was designated America's Ship of State in 2009. And the ship still crewed by 75 enlisted sailors and 3 commissioned officers who maintain and operate it, often for special events. And that's a little bit of history about the Constitution. And now it's, what was this? What was it? 1794, yeah. And it is haunted. There is ghosts on the Constitution. And, you know, the other day I was listening to CL and Michelle DeRoche talking about different places, you know, wartime, you know, different types of things. And she brought up the Constitution. And I remember my brother was stationed on there. And me and him got talking about it. And like I said, it was his first duty station. So we're going to hear all about a little of his time on the Constitution. And we're going to talk about some of the paranormal events that he witnessed. The one that says, "Hello, Sean, got to head in the back country to help elderly lady with heat. God bless, hope I get back for some of the show. Sounds great." Okay, Dawn, I hope you do too, but you just be careful out there, okay? Hey, Joni, good to see you. She says hi, Sean and Patrick. Okay, and without further ado, my brother, Patrick Kelly. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
Phenomenal. How's everybody out there in Radio Land? Yay! The real reason why he wanted me on here is because his ratings are going down. And being his brother, he asked me to up his ratings. So I'm here to discuss all my paranormal stuff that happened on the Constitution. If anybody has any questions, I'll be able to answer them.
Heidi says hello, Patrick. Mike Nation says hi, yes. How are you doing tonight? We're doing great, Mike. Kurt W says, Patrick, good to see you. And Mish, she says hello too. So, my brother, so the Constitution, right out of boot camp, that was your first command, correct?
Yes, it was.
First command. When you first got to the ship, what did you think of it?
It was in the dead of winter. It was snowing. Okay. It's up in Boston. It was the dead of winter, so we had to go out and actually shovel the ship. When the snow landed on the deck, we had to shovel it on the side or into the harbor.
Why? I mean, but besides the being in the dead of winter, what did it feel? Did you get like chills or something like that? And I'm not talking paranormal chills. I'm just talking, how did you feel when you first saw the ship?
When I first stepped on that ship, it felt like history, like I was part of history. Okay. And the feeling was phenomenal. It was just overwhelming, to be exact. And yeah, it was all right. I liked it. And being Irish myself and being Boston, being an Irish, yeah, I fitted right in down there.
I bet you did. Now, did you stay and did you live on the Constitution? Hey, Kevin, good to see you.
We had a berthing area, which was the SAIL, SAIL deck, where they kept all the sails. That was turned into a berthing, a place where we slept. and we used to watch movies down there and sleep down there. Only one day a week, or every 5 days, when we had a whole duty on the ship.
Okay. And what Heidi says, love that, Patrick. So what were some of your duties on that ship?
Oh, I was the cook, and I
Did you
had to
actually-
do. I was the cook. Plus, I had to do give tours and show everybody the ship and all the paranormal stuff that was going on. But yeah, I liked it.
So did you actually cook on the ship, or did you no?
Oh no! It was we cooked in the museum building. Our main barracks was over in the where the museum was. They cut half of the museum off, and then we stayed in the other half.
And how was that for birthing?
It was just a regular. No, the kitchen was a normal kitchen. Got to remember, this is back in the 80s. So they didn't have this modern stuff, what they have called, like stoves, and ovens. We didn't have that back then.
Right.
So we had to light this. We had to light the stove. The oven, by getting a wax paper, turning all the gas on in the oven, step back, light the wax paper, and put it underneath, and that's how we started the oven.
Oh my God, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. We had to carry the harbor water because we didn't have running water, so we had to go out to the harbor and fill up buckets and walk all the way back.
Yeah. he's pulling your leg, everybody. He's bullshitting you on that. That's my bro. Okay, so you were saying that once every 5 days that you had to do duty. What was your duty? What was part of your?
We just make sure nobody got on board the ship. That's about it. Other than doing tours, giving tours during the day, we had to stay on there and do watches. I remember the one time it was like when I got there was in the wintertime. Doing a watch, you had to walk all the way around the ship. You had to make sure there was nobody on board the ship. So the one time we were on the quarterdeck, which was this little shack, and I remember I was with there was two of us, and we were supposed to go around to do a tour, not a tour, a round to see if everything was all right on the ship. And we decided no, that it was too cold. That the door to the shack swung wide open, slammed 3 times. It was like bam, bam, bam. Nobody was out there. Yeah, so we went on the watch. We were like, yeah, they're we're gonna go out and make sure everybody's, nobody's on the boat.
Well, to everybody, I don't know if everybody heard Patrick because he was breaking up here. He was saying that him and this other dude, they were in the shack, and hey, Michelle, good to see him. That they were in the shack, and this is when he was on the ship, and they came to the conclusion where they weren't going to walk around the ship. Okay, and he said the guard shack, the door slammed, huh, Pat?
It was opened up, slammed by 3 times, and it popped back open, and we're like, yes, we need to go on a watch, and nobody was out there. There was no wind.
No wind at all?
No wind at all.
Oh, okay, thanks, Kurt. So if there was no wind, did you guys try to debunk it, or did you automatically say, "Oh my"?
No, sorry, no, we didn't try to debunk it. We went, yes, we went. No, we didn't try to debunk it. However,
Okay, now
you want to hear more stories?
Yeah, that's what you're here for.
Okay, all right. When we had to stay overnight on the ship down in the berthing area, We used to, years in the beginning, they have kids on called powder monkeys. They would carry the gunpowder to the cannons, and so they can load them. Well, when we're down there, we would hear kids running up and down the second deck. So we would obviously have to go up, and we heard nothing. I mean, we didn't see nothing, heard nothing, didn't even know. So we went back down, and you hear the kids running up and down. So they were probably the kids that loaded the cannons or brought the gunpowder to the cannons. Then there was another time. What?
Wow. Did you smell? Did you smell any gunpowder at all?
I can't understand you, Sean.
Okay. Did you smell any gunpowder?
Oh no. Then there was another time when one of my other crewmates decided to sleep in the captain's cabin. Yeah, that didn't work out for him well. Yeah, he was woken up with one of the captains staring down at him, telling him to get out of his berthing area.
This was a ghost captain, huh?
Yes, one of them. And then when you're on deck, I think it's the forward mast, you could see a shadow figure falling from it was like a crow's nest, but that's where the Marines used to be when they were firing their guns, and it was actually bona fide that a Marine got shot and fell off the forward mast. And you see that shadow at least twice a day or at night.
Nothing paranormal happening during the daytime?
No, not that I know, because I was in cooking. And I was doing the tours. So one day a week I was out on the ship, but majority of the time I was cooking.
Okay. Now, when you did these tours on board the ship, did you have to be dressed in that type of garb?
No, those were only on special duties, special occasions like the 4th of July or the Marines' birthday or on Veterans Day, on stuff like that. But it was never an everyday thing.
Oh, wow. So you had powdered monkeys, powder, Powder, monkeys who were children, right?
Yeah.
What other type of paranormal activity did you experience?
There was one time you'd be walking up, and there was this one specific ghost, if you will, and he just sat on the ladder well going up, and he will just stare at you and give you a smile, and you're like, good job. He was he's being affirmated that you're doing your job and everything like that. He was a nice ghost. He was pretty friendly. We didn't get a chance to talk, but he did it to everybody. So, he was a good guy. Yeah, I can even remember what he looks like. So it was just that vivid of a specter or ghost or whatever.
Ghost.
And
Kevin has a question. He just says,
sure.
An echo from another time. It was like an echo from another time.
I'm going to be honest. I don't understand what that means. All I know is that he was in the wrong era. I mean,
really?
he was not, he was like probably from the probably one of the original sailors or something on that line, that far back. It wasn't an echo. He was just like, yep, you're all right. And then he'll do it to other people at different parts of the ship. He'll be like looking.
Were there any female ghosts on board the ship?
No.
Yeah, residual. Do you think it was residual, Patrick? Heidi's asking, or do you think it was the real deal?
I think he was the real deal because he looked. You ready for this? I've been practicing this word, corporeal.
Corporal.
Is that the word, corporal? Yeah, that's
good
where.
job.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he was there. He looked like you couldn't see through him or anything like that. He was just there. And on
He
the other
was like,
parts of the ship, like that one picture you have of the girl that's up in from we got from the one investigation. He was just there. He didn't even seem to be like a ghost, but he only lasted for about 10 seconds and then he would disappear.
oh, that's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Kurt says captain's quarters would be intense. I agree that their
Yes.
job to look over the ship and all staff should be one of the highest energy areas on the ship. IMO,
Yes.
maybe not. And then Heidi says, actual dude and energy. Yeah, Heidi, solid. He was a solid ghost. Solid ghost.
He was a good looking chap too. Very good looking.
Thank you, Deborah. She says Copriol. Copriol.
Is that it?
Yes, Mish, it was an
Yay!
apparition. It was an apparition.
I don't know. But there's other stories.
I don't keep saying, brother. What other stories you got there, dude?
Well, where and the part of the ship where they did the surgeries, which was actually the barber. The barber did everything on there. They painted the deck down there red. Is because when they brought the wounded down, it covered the blood. I mean, it was the same color as the blood. So when the other sailors would look down and see if everybody was all right, they wouldn't see blood. They would just see the red deck. But there, like it was like pretty interesting there. You heard stuff down there, and it was just like, huh, okay. But after about a month or two, you just get used to everything.
What was your favorite part of the paranormal?
The guy.
Okay. Deborah says corporal means solid body or real body. Thank you very much, Deborah, for that.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
and I got one more really eerie. All right, being a newbie, I got. They said I had to sleep in one of the beds down in the sail loft. Nobody slept in that bed. And Sean, what's it called when you go to sleep and something's on your chest?
It's called the old hag theory in the metaphysical world, and in the scientific world, it is called something. I forget the word, but to me, it's called
when you
old,
wake up in the middle of the night in Boston and you see heat waves right above you, like how you see off a sidewalk in the summertime, the heat waves or the waves of heat, that was on my chest. And
sleep paralysis. Thank you, Heidi.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. Awesome, Heidi. Thumbs up to Heidi. And and when you wake up and you see like you can't breathe, your chest is heavy, feels like there was a ton of chains on your chest, and you see heat waves right there in front of you. Yeah. So nobody slept in that. I was the newbie. So hey, you sleep over there. Not anymore. Nope. Not after that night.
Kevin says, I am used to seeing spirit. One time at work when I was finally alone and nobody in the store, I thought, I walked behind the counter to go into the dining room to wash a few tables. And yeah, Deborah, yeah, night terrors. Yeah, as a night terror, yeah. But I don't know. It seems to me that now, here's a question. Now, did any paranormal groups at the time try to get on the ship to investigate? Can you
Yes, but they weren't allowed to. I actually tried to get PPS on there, but they that's the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society, to all you people out there, and run by Skipper Sean. Since we're talking nautical stuff, he is Skipper Sean tonight. Call him Skip. And they will not let no paranormal group on there because it was still a naval vessel. Now, however, if you go to the one that's been sunk in, I think in Pearl Harbor, not in Pearl Harbor, or one of the states, they allow you to go on there and do investigations.
Yeah, that's the battleship North Carolina.
Yeah, you're allowed to go on there and do investigations. But yeah, that's the only, no paranormal group is allowed on the Constitution. They can come on board it, but they don't do an investigation. They can't bring out all the equipment. I mean, they can take the tour and stuff like that, but they can't do an investigation at night.
Okay, Kevin says, finishing up what Kevin was saying, at the corner of his eye, seen a native lady all in beige, again leaning against the beige wall. When I came back, I still did not make eye contact, but could see, yep, still there. Finally, I turned around and he'll come back and say something. Thank you for sharing this story. But
can I bring up another story that doesn't have to do with the Constitution? I mean, when we were down in Boston, PA. Remember the restaurant? And it was just me, you, and I forget the other guy's name. And that's where the Yawkey, was it the Yawkey River down there?
Yeah, it's the Yaw. Yeah, it's the Yaw.
Yeah, we were down there. And who was the guy that used to run with you doing your videos?
Oh my God, Donnie?
No. Well, anyway, I forget his name. It'll come to me. However, when the fog was supposedly going down the river, we actually saw the fog coming across the river. And in the fog, you saw silhouettes or outlines of Indians on horses coming across. I'm getting goosebumps on my back of my neck now. And you saw them coming across the river because the fog was coming in that way towards the restaurant. And that was, we were like, wow. We took pictures of it, and there was no fog on the camera, but there was fog on the river.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the Yawkey is a crazy river. So Kevin finishes up. He looked her square in the face and said, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I thought you were a ghost." She laughed. I said, "Yeah, I guess I am. Used to seeing ghosts." Deborah says, "I'm a medium. I've been a resident medium to Tim Portner's paranormal group and other paranormal groups here in Ohio. I've seen some pretty interesting spirits." I bet you did, Deborah. I have no doubt. Maybe I can get you on my show and we can talk about it. That would be pretty cool. But back to the Constitution. Now, okay, so we were talking about the paranormal activity that was happening on the ship. She was a real live person. Oh, you are funny, dude. Kevin said she's a real live person. That's funny. Yeah, you had me going there, brother. But how about around, like, on the dock around the Constitution? Did you hear or see any type of paranormal activity on the docks? Or
No,
was
not
it
really.
strictly or mainly on the ship?
It was strictly mainly on the ship, you know. But then again, I wasn't very much into the paranormal because you got to remember, I was 18. So, stuff might have been happening. I don't know because I wasn't attuned to it like you when you're onto it on the ship.
Okay. So does it feel like you're jumping from when you're on the dock, jumping onto the Constitution? It's just like jumping into another world?
Yes and no. Not another world, but another time. I mean, you're still in. Well, I was in there in 1982 to 84, but once you stepped on the ship, you felt like, all right, you felt history. You felt like you were back in the battle days, like when you were there sailing out the ships.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Okay, so hold on. We're at the 30-minute mark. So you know what that means, everybody? We got to go and take about a 2-minute break. Go if you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. If you want to go have a cigarette, go have a cigarette. But we'll see you back here in 2 minutes. Okie dokie. Let me get here. What should I play today? So everybody enjoy your break. Okay, we'll do this one.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allow me to give you 2 hours Sunday nights and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And I'm just grateful for everybody. Hey, Heidi's wearing the black PPS hoodie at this moment. That is so
Nice.
sweet, Heidi. Thank you for it.
Nice.
They're pretty
That's
cool
a
looking,
double
aren't
thumbs
they?
up.
That's
Double
a
thumbs up for Heidi.
double thumbs up. Welcome back, Sean and Patrick. Heidi says, why, thank you. And I think his birthday was yesterday, Heidi, Father Sean. I think it was yesterday. But don't forget, right after my show tonight, you got C.L. Thomas's Gateway Podcast. And tonight, her guest is Tim Shaw. It's on, and they're going to talk about sex, murder, and witchcraft in Nickel City. Kevin says, hi, Patrick. That's Z-Son.
Hi.
He says hello. And,
So does anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for my brother about the ghost paranormal experiences he has on the ship? You know, please feel free to ask any question you want about the paranormal activity on board the con. Much love to you too, Cindy. Thank you for popping in. It's much love, Sean and Patrick from Cindy. But so whenever you guys got around, did you guys talk about your ghost experience?
Oh, yeah.
And any other shipmates?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heidi has a double question for you. Have you ever wondered why they appear, like their intentions?
Some of them were there to know that we are doing our duty, like like when we were on the quarterdeck, the shack opening up and slamming the door 3 times when there's no wind. So yes, they were there to make sure that we are doing our job, and then protecting the ship.
That's funny. We got a couple more questions here, buddy. Mish, my girl from Australia, was Sean a naughty kid growing up?
Oh, good day, mate. Yes. I'll tell you what, my brother, the way he looks now, he was one hell of a athlete. He played basketball, ran track, played football. And look at him now. Yay.
Yeah, I'm fat. Got a gray beard and look like Santa Claus. Kevin wants to know, how ancient are your ghosts?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, they were on the ship, and different battles and everything like that. So I really can't pinpoint a certain ancient, if there ever was one. I don't even. Can you define ancient?
And Deborah says, "Hey Patrick, what was the most scariest experience on the ship?"
When I was sleeping, when I was laying in the bed, and I felt like the chains were on my neck, the sleep paralysis. That was it. And also the slamming of the quarterdeck shack, and also seeing the shadow fall from the forward mast, and also hearing all the powdered monkeys running up and down. So basically, everything. But you got used to it.
It's funny. Mish said, LOL, that sounded English, but good try. That's cool. And Heidi comes back and says, no particularly crabby mofos. And Kevin says that I guess that's time frames. Mish says, okay, gotta go. Have a good show listening. Okay. See, guys, that was a crowd.
All right, thank you for stopping by. I'll let you know when I'm on again.
But so whenever you and your shipmates got around together, did you guys actually talk about what you guys see on board the ship?
When you're new, when you just first on board, they let you know. And then again, after about a couple months, it's just like normal. You hear the normal every night of the boat creaking. You hear the gunshots that were up in the north, west end of Boston, up where the Italians lived. And, but no, after, like I said, a couple months, you just get used to it. You get used to seeing spirits or, hearing stuff like that, and you just play it off. But when we hear kids, we actually did have to go and do an investigation to see if there was anybody on board the ship.
That's crazy. Kurt has a question. Has there ever been any investigations done on the ship? I imagine there would have been, but not as long as it's been active. I can only imagine what all it's been through and saw.
Yeah. Again. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Bill says, hi, Sean and Patrick. Mish gave you some heart, a smiley heart. Heidi says, did you and any of your shipmates ever investigate or any occurrences?
Yeah, we had to.
Thank you. Just answered.
We had to do the investigation.
So what was the feeling knowing that you heard the little kids running up around the second deck? What was your feeling that you had to go and investigate? Did it give you chills?
In the beginning, yes. But again, once you've been on the ship for a long time, or even after 2 months, you just expect it. So yeah, in the beginning when I was there, they had me go and investigate since I was the new one on the ship. So yeah, but I had other people going on around there with me. Sorry for scratching my eye. But yeah, again, after 2 months, you get used to it. You know,
Right.
you be like, oh, that's Bill. That's Bill the sailor.
Now, Joni says, Sean, you should have Patrick on your show more often. He's funny.
No, because his ratings will go through the roof, and then once I'm not there, you know, they'll plummet. And you know,
Bill.
the reason why, and one of the main reasons why I'm doing this is because he said he'll do my laundry and take out trash.
Bullshit.
Hey, no cussing online.
Bill Rigby, good to see you. Good to see you, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Send a newbie. What time period do you figure the ghosts are from? And what I meant to ask. Whoa, everybody's coming. Yes, brotherly love, Kevin. What he meant to ask, but you answered from battle times. No specifics. Got it. Okay, cool. Hey, Joe Fox. Good to see you, my friend.
Is that the Joe Fox? That's the Joe Fox? Wowzers. Yeah. I can sleep tonight knowing that he is on the listening to your show. I'm sleeping tonight.
Joe's good people, man. He's good people. Deborah says, LOL, you got the grunt job. Sorry for your bad luck. It's definitely brotherly love. So definitely brotherly love. But yeah. So is there anything else you would like to talk about on the Constitution? Any other?
No.
Have any of your other shipmates like experienced something more drastic?
Well, other than the one guy that slept in the captain's quarters, yeah. You know, that was a pretty big, and that is actually documented, of the guy sleeping in the captain's bed. That is actually documented because he had been taken to the hospital because he was like oh yeah, he was not normal after that. Well, it took him a couple of days, but I mean, you're standing over there and you see a ghost screaming and yelling at you to get out of your, yeah, that's going to do some damage to your psyche. But he came back, and it was like 2 or 3 days. He wasn't allowed on board to do tours or stay there for about a week, but he came back on.
Okay.
Remember these Deborah people, this is back in the 80s. This is in 1980s. So I don't know if there's new ghosts. Yeah. So I don't know if there's new ghosts are hanging around. I don't know what's going on up there, but this was back in 1980s when I was on there. And yes, I'm old, but still good looking. But that's all right.
Oh, I gotta love him. I mean, he's funny, yeah, but try living with him. It's a different story. Oh, the grunt job on the ship. Okay, we know what you mean, Deborah. But Deborah, I got your email here, so I will be in contact with you. So my brother's been with me on a lot of investigations. So say like I decided to go up to Boston, right, and go visit the Constitution. How can I secretly
You can't
kind of do an investigation? Not even on
you
one
won't
of the
be
tours.
able to. No, because it's daylight. There's all types of machinery going on. Well, see, this is back in the 80s. I don't know what it's like now. You got to remember that. So I don't know if you can bring on equipment or anything like that. But back then, it was all during the day. There was about 10 to 15 people in a tour group. So there, you would have no time to pull out your thingamajiggers and whatchamacallits. And
Joe Fox said, "Is he your evil twin brother, Sean?"
No, I'm the good one. I'm the good one. I'm the one that,
Whoa.
look at the beard. My beard's trimmed. His isn't, so it's okay.
Yeah, but I'm Santa Claus, man. They want me to be Santa Claus. But
That's one
we
of
have a
his
couple minutes
ultimate.
left there, brother.
All right.
We got a couple minutes left to have you in our presence tonight.
Yes.
What is the final word on your paranormal experience on the Constitution? And if you would, no, baby boomers, Heidi. We're baby boomers.
Did
Oh,
she
you're
call us
Gen X.
Jim?
Okay. No, yeah.
No.
Heidi calling. No, we're not Gen X. We're baby boomers.
Chick,
Oh
I was
my
born in
God.
1964. I'm hurt now. No, I can't sleep tonight. You know what? No, I'm not sleeping tonight knowing that happened. Thank you, Heidi.
But can we get your final word on your stuff with
If
the
you get
being on
the
board the
chance to go to
Constitution?
Boston, take the tour on the Constitution. You would love it. They bring the ship out once a year to turn it around to get even weather on each side of the ship. But I'll tell you what, it is one of the best. Well, tour Boston itself. And, but the Constitution, I highly suggest you go on a tour there.
Bill Rigby, he's funny. Cindy says certain government installations won't allow paranormal investigations to take place. That is definitely true. Bill Rigby says Sean is playing a homeless guy and Patrick is a young pup. And Deborah says on those properties, yes, ma'am. Yeah, he's
all right.
young.
Well, kids, I'm out of here.
I want to thank you for coming on tonight.
You're quite welcome, and hi everybody. Again, to inform the other ladies, I am single. I'm a Leo. I like to take long walks on beaches or stuff like that. Well, anyway, good night, guys. I'll see you later.
Good night, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye, brother. Kurt says, thank you, Sean and Patrick. Great show, and hopefully get to have Patrick back on again. Ha! Michelle says, thanks, Patrick. Okay, just hit that. Okay, cool. Well, everybody, there was my brother. Okay, let me get him off the stage here. Gotta go.
There's no MS.
Sorry. She says Bonnie Saray. What? Bon Saray. Okay. Didn't Patrick do a great job tonight? He did an awesome job. I will definitely have him on again. And if my ratings go a little higher than they usually are tonight, you know what? You got to have him on because he does it, because I'll never hear the last of it. But it was a good show tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed a little bit of the history on the USS Constitution and a little about the paranormal activity that occurred on the ship. And Patrick and Sean, LOL, funny duo. Thanks, Kev. But you know what? No matter where you go on Earth or in America or all over the world, there's always going to be a spirit, or if you want to call them a ghost, that's going to be hanging around. Okay. And I'm sure, like the USS North Carolina, the battleship, they have done investigations on the North Carolina. Okay, Kevin says, nah, we're here for you, Sean. Heidi says, love this. Thank you for the smiles. You're welcome. He's a trip to have on all the time. But he was stationed on the Constitution. And they just learned a lot. I love him. He's my brother. He's not heavy. He's my brother. Deborah says it's always cool to have family on explaining about their paranormal experiences. Thank you. You're welcome, Michelle. Yeah, Deborah, I'll have him on some more. We have so much because he did a lot of investigations with me. And he's a very good investigator, too. Kurt said, Old Ironsides. It is an amazing show. Thank you, Kevin, for saying it was a great show. But we're at the witching hour. Don't forget, everybody, right after my show tonight, you got the Gateway Pogus. It was good to meet him. He was happy to meet you, Joe. But don't forget, CL's podcast, the Gateway Podcast, is coming up in about 10 minutes. And her guest tonight is Tim Shaw. And they're going to talk about sex, murder, and witchcraft in Nickel City. Thank you, Joni. Thank you, Heidi. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no children, and if you have no parents, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, good night, everybody. Stay safe this week, and we'll see you Sunday.